welcome to Over the White Line from britsonpole.com. I'm Francesca Ty.
And I'm Jack Bowman, and we're here at Brands Hatch today to cover Formula 4.
Hi, I'm Andy Darley, the third member of the Brits on Pole team here at Brands Hatch. Now Francesca is with Richard Randall, spokesperson for Formula 4, to talk a little bit about what the series is.
So this is the Formula 4 Winter Series. Tell us a bit about what's happening this weekend.
Well, there's 4 races across the weekends, 2 on each day, as well as a qualifying session in the morning. Yeah, it's a grid full of young up-and-coming drivers who hopefully at some point in the future will go on to race in Formula 1 or other premier categories around the world. Our first season, actually, we had a main season before the Winter Series. It was a major success, actually. We had 24 races across 8 different weekends, and we had 11 different race winners, and the vast majority of those winners came out of go-karting, actually, which is what the championship is really designed for, is to introduce new drivers into motorsport, and to have 50% of the winners coming directly out to karting in their first year of racing. It just shows that young drivers can come out of a karting series and go on to be competitive in single-seaters, and that's really what the whole championship's been all about, and it's been a resounding success.
So who are you most looking forward to seeing across this series? Are there any particular exciting prospects?
Well, it's hard to pick out anybody in particular. It's a really a good strong grid, and we've had 5 races so far during this Winter Series with 3 different winners, so it's wide open, and it's hard to call a winner. I mean, at the moment, Matty Graham, who also raced in the main season, currently leads the championship just by a handful of points from Jake Cook, who's joined us for the Winter Championship as well, and it's just very difficult to pick a winner, really. And as we've seen, there's another person starting on the grid. Senna Fielding starts pole position for the race which takes place this afternoon, and he would be another new winner. Does that make it, if he was to go on and win, it'd be 4 winners from 6 races? So it's just
surely that just makes it even more exciting, the fact that anyone can really
exactly
win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in motorsport, like most things, it comes down to ability, but as you see, the grid is very evenly matched, and qualifying was very close indeed, and it's just great to see so much competition out there.
And what are your hopes for the rest of the weekend?
Well, we hope for more exciting racing. Formula 4 has proved to be a very exciting formula, actually, with so many different winners. But not only that, is the action on track's been really close and competitive as well, and very fair as well. I should say, there's very few driving incidents that need looking at, and the driving standards are very high, and that's only a good thing. And the team principals from higher series like Formula 3 will be looking for not just speed, but driver quality as well. And a lot of our drivers, the vast majority of them finish every race, and that's exactly what I want to see: good close racing, and whoever wins the championship this weekend will fully deserve it.
Thanks. Now we hand over to Jack, who's with HHC Racing, having a tour of the Formula 4 car.
Now we have a special for you. We have a guided tour around one of the cars here.
Yeah, basically what we've got here is a 2013 BRDC F4 car. Obviously new at the start of 2013. I think we got our first car in around February-March time. It's been a massive success, both in terms of it being a brand new car and indeed the championship. We've run cars both in the main championship but also the Winter Series, which obviously is where we are today. The car itself is a steel tubular space frame car. Makes it to a Cosworth 2-litre engine, which produces around about 180 horsepower, and it's also then makes it to a Saturn 6-speed sequential gearbox.
One thing I'd really like to bring up though is you're using this in the winter. Now with Formula 1 cars, they just can't drive if the track's not hot. How do the tyres perform in such poor weather conditions?
Clearly, when it's colder, obviously you are going to have less grip, so you need to try and generate as much heat and temperature into these tyres as possible, and therefore gain the benefit. Whilst ultimately clearly the tyres are going to perform better in hotter temperatures, middle of summer is going to be far better. We probably here this weekend are looking at between an ambient temperature of sort of 4 to 8 degrees. So yeah, it's not necessarily ideal, but it's certainly not out of all realms of sort of operating parameters. So yeah, there'll be certain tweaks and certain setup changes that we would do to make sure that we can maximise the temperature in the tyres and maximise the amount of grip that we can get. In terms of exactly what we would do, I'm not necessarily going to tell you.
Keep that a secret.
Okay, now if we can talk about the steering wheel for a second.
Yeah, that's fine. So obviously here we've got an F4 steering wheel. Really nice data pages, lots of different information that the driver can see. Probably the main page that they're going to be wanting is a nice broad page there. Obviously nice and prominent in the middle, you've got your gear, obviously currently sat in neutral. Other page in terms of oil temperature, water temperature, air temperature, all those sorts of things. Anything major that happens, an alarm will sound, and clearly some, a red outline on the wheel to inform the driver of, if something's out of parameter and obviously is going to cause harm to the car. Across the top here you've got your gear change lights, fairly standard across all racing cars now. The lights will start on the outside, come together, and then you would change gear using the paddles on either side of the wheel. Right hand paddle is up a gear, left hand paddle is down a gear.
So what are the advantages to this car of a driver who's just starting their career?
I think the main advantage is not only with the car, which is a really nice, neat package. It not only has all the major components and aero and slicks that a driver needs to, make their way into single seaters, but also the series as a whole is a highly competitive arena. As I say, it is a junior championship, but because it's one, very competitive, two, in the scheme of things for single seaters, it's very reasonable and a really good starting place. It means a lot of drivers can come in, try and make their way, try and make their name in a car that not only looks modern, has got some fantastic performance, but also against some really good rivals.
Right, thank you very much. That's very interesting.
So that's what a real Formula 4 car looks like. But of course for most of us, the only opportunity we'll get to go out on a track really is on computer games. But one team, the Nissan Academy, is taking people from their computer games and putting them in real race cars. Francesca finds out more.
Okay, so what brings you here to Brands Hatch this weekend?
Well, this is the final race in this year's programme for the new Nissan GT Academy graduates who've won the PlayStation Challenge earlier in the year.
That's a scheme to find people good at video games who might also be good at driving in reality,
Exactly that. It's an online competition with Nissan and PlayStation, which eventually becomes a race camp at Silverstone, and from that we select drivers who then come racing with us. And this is their first year, and this is a bit of night racing. The reason we're at this race is it's night. The next race is the Dubai 24 Hours in January, and that obviously so they need to be able to race at night.
Yeah. So how's the first year gone?
Well, this is their first year, but this program's been going since 2008. So we know how to do it now. We're always trying to improve it, of course, but basically we've had some great drivers come up through it. What
qualities do you think are in a video game player that makes them a great driver in reality as well?
Well, when it started in 2008, as I say, no one really understood the significance of the skills of a video gamer. But of course now, every F1 team has got full-time simulators, full-time simulator drivers, and that correlation between hand, eye, screen, that's all so important, helps them learn circuits, invaluable. If they're good on that, they're normally good on the track.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So the headline of this weekend is young drivers in Formula 4 or in the Nissan Academy. But one of Britain's most experienced drivers, Alan McNeish, winner of Le Mans, has finally won a World Championship. Here's what he has to say about it.
This weekend's season-ending World Endurance Championship race in Bahrain was won by Toyota, but it didn't really matter because their rivals Audi had already wrapped up the championships the previous race in Shanghai. Not only did they nail the team championship, but veteran British driver Alan McNish and his co-drivers Tom Christensen and Loic Duval won the Drivers' Championship. McNish, of course, has had a successful career with 3 24-hour Le Mans victories and a run in Formula 1, but it was his first ever world title, and as such it was a very satisfying weekend for him. McNish and his co-drivers adopted a deliberately cautious strategy for the race, and what that meant was at the start the number 1 Audi mixed it with the Toyotas, but the number 2 stayed back safe from the battle. As a result, the wheel-to-wheel battling was left to the number 1, seen here putting a move on one of the Toyotas, resulting in scenes of celebration and frankly very dodgy dancing back in the Audi garage. The number 2, however, cruised serenely through the race, making it all look like child's play, amassing enough points to secure the titles. And so at the end of the race it was the number 1 Audi that won. But it was the number 2 Audi that took home the Drivers' Championship.
I've been waiting on this since 1985. I've had 3 cracks at a World Championship in karting. I finished 3rd at Le Mans, funnily enough, behind Andrea Gilardi and Michael Schumacher. And that one hurt because it was one that was close but no cigar. And then in Formula 1 there wasn't really an opportunity. And obviously to finally crack it, it's 3rd time lucky. But personally I feel massively proud of what we did this year. We came out the blocks fighting at Silverstone. I think we had a really good run, and especially at the Circuit of the Americas, I think that was a turning point for us, which allowed us to come here today and drive a very, very conservative race. But right now, I've just got a massive, big, warm feeling inside and a very wet backside because of Mr. Verch pouring champagne down my back.
Of course, sports cars come in all shapes and sizes, from the Le Mans prototypes that Alan McNish drives to the GT cars that are often on the track at the same time as them. Here at Brands this weekend we've had BritCars running, and Jack Bowman's with one team that's got a story to tell.
Right, can you tell us a little bit about your team and what you think about your BritCar?
Yeah, we're a team that's based under the UK manufacturer in Swindon. We're a voluntary team that runs out of made up of people from all walks of life. We've got managers in there, we've got divisional managers, we've got general associates working for us. But together it's quite nice. I think it creates a real team atmosphere because it's all voluntary. So it means that everything that we do is for our benefit. So our latest car, the Civic that we've got running at the moment, we built from scratch from the body shell earlier this year. So we built it up, spent nights after work in our workshop, getting it ready to go, and now it's our racing, so it's great to see.
Yeah, very good. So why exactly BritCar? What appeals to you about BritCar?
BritCar is an endurance championship, so it's really good for us. It means that it's much more of a team sport because there's always a pit stop, there's always tyre changes, and it means that we can really get together at the weekend and make a weekend of it rather than being a sprint race and just being about our driver.
Fair enough. Any other important points you'd like to explain?
Last year we lost our driver. He was killed in an accident at our factory. So we really worked hard on the team to make it into something that we can do for him now. We ran in his memory. We've been organising another race as well at Castle Coombe in May for the day. And it's going to be much the same. It'll be an endurance race.
So the jet that you drive didn't put you off entering cars from the championship or keeping it going?
It makes it very hard, and it is for a long time. And we debated it for months as to whether we should re-enter or not. But we decided they've raced for 20 years in motorsport, and he was a go-getter, and I think if we had stopped, then it wouldn't have been the right thing to do, and he would have told us to carry on. So we decided to do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
So safety and proper safety equipment is always at the front of the mind of drivers. Our technical consultant Duncan Tappy can't be with us this weekend. He's just become a father and he's got other things on his mind. But before that, he shot this to show us what all the equipment that drivers wear is and what it does.
Well, hi everybody. I'm here today to talk you through all the race equipment that us racing drivers wear every time we step foot into a car. Let's start with our feet and work all the way up to the crash helmet. So boots, the most important thing that drivers look for really is a nice thin sole, so you can have lots of feel through your toes, through the ball of your feet, on the pedals obviously. The heel needs to have a little bit thicker support there. When you're going over the bumps, you don't want to be smashing your heels on the ground too much. So again, you'll see a lot of different colours as well, because it's a bit of a fashion statement as well. So let's move on to overalls, and the biggest piece of equipment that we've got here really. Obviously lots of different colours that they come in. It depends on what team sponsors you have. It's purely down to driver preference, whether you want them to be a little bit more baggy, maybe like an old Jack Villeneuve kind of look, or if you go for a Jenson Button nowadays look where it's skin tight. But different makes again, but all have to be done to a very high standard of FIA, and that's the little kind of label you have on them. And all the bits and pieces that I use are Alpine Stars, and I think they're really a favourite with all drivers. So I'm holding the glove. Let's talk about the gloves. Really a very important part of a driver's equipment, because obviously this is the one thing that you have your hands touching the steering wheel, and you have lots of different knobs and buttons to touch on the steering wheel, so you need to have the feel for that. But mainly the biggest thing that you have is the grip on the palm. You have different, if you're driving like I do a few different cars throughout the year, the steering wheels aren't always the same material. So the McLaren is a nice grippy kind of rubber surface on the steering wheel, so it's not that important what glove you wear as long as it's comfortable. But then when I was driving the SLS, it had quite a shiny surface, and I had to actually contact Alpine Stars and ask them to send me a different type of glove, which was a rubber kind of grippy surface on that, which made my life a lot easier. I didn't have to grip the steering wheel so tightly, which obviously when you're relaxed you drive better. So moving on to the head, the crash helmet. Now I rather like my design, but it's purely down to what you have, and I've had this design ever since I was young in karting. But over the last few years, it's been made mandatory in a certain level of motorsport that they have to be carbon fibre specified crash helmet, all to an FIA standard again. So very lightweight but very strong. And you may just think it's there to protect our heads, which mainly it is, but there's a lot more to this crash helmet inside. All the bits and pieces inside. You can have different sizes to make it perfectly fit your head. And then you can see just inside here is a drinks tube, and that is what I connect up to a nice cold bottle inside the McLaren GT. When I'm driving that, I can just press a button on the steering wheel, and it can just pump a nice bit of cold drink into my mouth. Also, you have the radio clip, where us GT drivers have a little Velcro clip on the top of it, just so when we do our driver changes, when your other driver clips your radio in, you can whip it up, plug it straight in, you're good to go. And then you have a little bit of pieces, kind of electronics down here, where your earpieces, a bit of dangly wire will come in and plug into there. That's my insight to what us racing drivers wear on a weekend. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Duncan. And now Francesca is with Jake Cook, who scored a double podium on the first day of this weekend, and it was in the running for the championship right to the end.
Okay, so 2 podiums today. How do you feel the day's gone for you?
Yeah, it's been okay. We're a bit disappointed this morning after qualifying. Thought we should have had pole really, and a red flag right near the end cost us really. if I'd have finished the lap that I was on when the red flag came out, I'd have been on pole. So, and after that, it's just hard work when you're in a bunch here because there's just nowhere to overtake. So, it's made it a bit harder. But yeah, it's still been a good day. Like, I'm still really in the same position in the championship that I was before the weekend, so I can still win it tomorrow if I beat Graham twice. So.
How do you feel about your chances tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's all right. Qualifying is going to be important again, but in testing, all week I've been the quickest car here really, so I'm pretty confident. Like I say, I think with it drying up in qualifying this morning, we set up the car to come on a little bit later, so we were looking good until the red flag. So I think we've got the pace and just need to qualify better.
Hope for a bit more fortune.
Yeah. I mean, we've done everything we can in the race. Like, all I needed to do then was beat Graham, and I got him off the start. So, and then after that, you just can't really do anything. So that's why you just need to be out front. But yeah, it's been an okay day. Yeah.
And what are your aims for looking towards next year?
I'm not really sure yet. It depends on budget completely. I might do this for a full year next year. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it depends on budget really. Completely depends on money. If I could, I'd want to do some F3 or GP3, but I don't think it's going to happen. So yeah, that's you just have to look at that really.
Okay, thanks. Cheers.
Thank you, Francesca, and to Jake, and commiserations, so near and yet so far. And now we hear from the winner of the final race of the weekend, Kieran Vernon, and the champion of the whole of the F4 Winter Series, Matty Graham.
Yeah, well, it's my first race back since a year ago at Silverstone, so yeah, it was quite tricky to get obviously back into it and get used to the car, but overall, yeah, we've had fifth, second, and then a win. Perfect way to end the weekend. It's going to set the season, but it's been one race off, so yeah, I've been really chuffed. We've been getting quicker and quicker as we go out, and we've always been fast in the races. That's our real strong point. We qualified well as well, but good races, and yeah, we managed to lead it from start to finish. Got sending off the line, and then stayed in front basically. Yeah, over the moon first because it's been a while. So yeah, it's nice to get back out and take a victory.
Excellent. Is this your first time at Brands Hatch, or are you? I've
been with Brands Hatch a few times. It is one of my favourite circuits. I love it here. So much history, and to drive it's wicked as well. Yeah, it's first time in the Formula 4 car, so a bit of a new experience for me. Seems to have picked it up quite quickly, so quite happy with that. And the team Hill Speed have been brilliant with helping me with that and everything, giving me the right car to do the job, and here we are, top steps. So brilliant.
Do you have any clue whether you'll be able to continue?
I'd love to, but we're not the richest people in the world, so I will be going out hunting for as much sponsorship as I can get, but it is quite difficult at this time. So I'll give them a shot, and then we'll see what we can do with that. But I'd like to get back out, obviously.
So tell us a little about the weekend and how it's been for you knowing that the title.
It's been pretty nervous, but I've had a good pace throughout the whole series, so I always like this track. This is where I won my first single-seater race, so I had a lot of confidence that I could win.
How do you feel today?
Yeah, it's pretty good feeling. Couldn't really ask for more. The team have done a great job, so yeah, very happy. When I moved into single-seaters, I did the BRDC Formula 4 this season, ended up 4th overall, and then decided to do this just to get some extra testing in over the winter, and yeah, it worked well, ended up well.
So very much making the transition into single-seaters?
Yeah, it's difficult from karting. There's a lot to learn. But I managed to pick it up pretty quick, and yeah, it seems to go okay.
Do you have any idea what you'll be doing next season yet? Is that still a plan in the making?
Yeah, it's always a very late decision with motorsport because there's lots of options where you could choose. We would like to try and do Euro Cup, but we need the budget's quite big for that, so we'll have to try and find some sponsorship or something like that to progress.
So that's all from Over the White Line. From Jack and myself, thank you for watching.
Every day is your choice to make. Every play is your life. Every day is your choice to make. Every play is your life. Every day is your choice to make. Every play is your life. Every day is your choice to make. Every play is your life.